Hey, this is Greg, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can get good AI image results, diverse AI image results using Canva plus ChatGPT. So we'll look at the Canva AI Image Generator. We'll see how that works, but then we're also going to look at the ChatGPT platform, see some of the advantages of that platform, and then see how these two tools can be married together in an efficient workflow that can save you time. We'll look at how you can start with a basic prompt like childless cat lady and go from returning just a few results to suddenly returning a vast array of different results with all sorts of different styles. Now I'm going to let you in on my secret weapon for generating those styles, and I'll even give you a chance to get a free copy of the secret weapon yourself so you really can up your creativity and take your AI image generation to the next level. So if this all sounds good, let's dive right in. Okay, so the starting point for this example that we're going to use is childless cat lady. Now obviously I chose this term in part because it has become a buzzworthy term of late in US politics and pop culture, but let's certainly not go into the weeds with that. So all I'll say is let's continue to practice kindness and compassion and celebrate the things that unite us. But besides just being a buzzworthy, attention-grabbing term, I did also choose the term because I thought it would make a good starting point for this video because it's a somewhat generic term. There's so much room left open there for more descriptors. And so sometimes that's going to be the starting point where you find yourself when you need an image for a post or a campaign. You might have this general idea in mind, but then how do you take that and sort of brainstorm different directions, different iterations, different possibilities? And then ultimately, how do you give your idea more direction, more of a style? So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. How do we do this? Okay, so the first part of this is how do we generate images? Well, there are tons and tons of AI image generators available nowadays. With going to talk about two specifically in this video. We're going to talk about this one in Canva, and then we'll also mention DALL-E image generation with ChatGPT, and we'll get to that. But let's start right here in Canva. So if we're in Canva, I can come under this Elements menu, and under this Elements menu, you have this AI image generator. You can generate your own. And if I hit this plus icon here, then suddenly I can describe what I want. Now it says 5+ words. I think you have a limit of about 260 characters here. It might be a little bit more, but let's say 260. It's close to that. And then of course you can choose a style. I'll talk about why I usually do not choose a style. I usually leave this set to none. And then of course square, landscape, portrait, you can tell it sort of what orientation image you want it to return. So we're going to type in childless cat lady here as a starting point. But you might be asking how many uses of this do you get? Well, for a pro account, it's 451 that I have left this month, but you get 500 per month. It refreshes every month. And then if you're a free user, you only get 50 lifetime uses. But as I mentioned before, there are lots of image generators out there, and the techniques we're going to learn today, you can pretty much apply to any image generator you want to use. But let me just show you something else. If you have a question like this and you don't know an answer, a lot of times you can come down here to this Ask Canva button on the bottom right, and you can sort of ask their AI assistant here. So you could say, how many AI image generator uses do I have? Something like that. So you can ask it a question. It's going to give you an answer. So it's going to tell you as a pro user, you have 500 per month. And then I say, what about free? I can type free users, and so you can ask questions here. And so this is a lot of the time a way you can get an answer for a question if you just use this little button here. So that's just a little tip to go along. Now this isn't always up to date with the most latest information, but a lot of times you can get answers in here. Then close it out when you don't want it. So anyways, that just covers that. And now let's get in here and let's just type in childless cat lady. And let's see what happens. We're going to leave style set to none, landscape orientation, so childless cat lady, and we'll go ahead and click generate image. So whenever you use this AI image generator, it brings back 4 different results for you to choose from. Now you can run it again and again, but basically anytime you use this, it's going to use an image credit. So we can see this said 451 before. Now I'm down to 450 because I did return 4 images here. So I can click on this 4 images and let's see, let's just do it on a different screen so we can see. So we have this image here. We have this image here, this image here, and then we have this image here. Okay, So interesting results, but we really need to steer this, right? How do we get different results? How do we get a variety of results? How do we then hone in on what specifically we want? Because there's a lot left to interpretation here. You know, how old is the woman? What's her ethnicity? What's she doing? What's the location of the scene? What's the lighting? There's so many things that factor in here. And if you really want to get good images, you got to learn how to ask for the results that you want. And so some of that's trial and error, but there are certain things you can do and methods you can use to get better and better results. So let's start this process. Okay, so we don't want to be so generic with what we type in here. We want to give Canva a little more guidance. So of course you can use your imagination, or you could think about what you want the setting to be, what you want the characteristics of the lady to be. But let's say you really are starting from scratch. What are the tools here that you could use to do some brainstorming? Well, let me just open up a new page here. So I'll close that here. Let's go to a new page. Now, if you type the / key in Canva, that will open up this sort of quick taskbar, which can be very helpful. And this is where you can access Magic Write. And if we look at Magic Write, this is a pro feature. This is somewhere where you can brainstorm with AI suggestions. So that sounds a little bit like what we'd like to do. Now, if you can't remember that / key, you can also open up a Canva document. And if you open up a Canva doc like this, specifically a doc, and within docs here, you have the Magic Write, so you can bring it up that way. But if you are in any other type of Canva document, you just have to remember that / trick to bringing up this dialog box. And then we have this Magic Write. So maybe in something here, it says use 5 or more words to describe what you want to write. And so I'm going to say, write a description of a childless cat lady, keep it 260 characters or less. And then I'm going to hit generate. And it's going to go ahead and it's going to generate out a warm-hearted woman who adores her feline companions, often doting on them. Like her own children, her home is filled with cozy cat beds, toys, and gentle purrs of beloved pets. She finds joy and comfort in their company, creating a peaceful and loving sanctuary. So we're starting to get more descriptions of the environment. We don't have a lot of descriptions of the woman herself, so we could start to try to do this. Now, here's my problem. With this Magic Write, I have the option of inserting it, but then if I bring up Magic Write, let me just use my / and say, give me another description. I'm trying to get it to do what I just did. And I'll hit enter. Oops, I didn't actually use the Magic Write that time, so let me just bring up Magic Write again. Give me another description. And then I hit generate. It's not gonna know. Of course, please provide me with a topic. Well, I wanted it to reference back to this. So my issue with Magic Write is that it's sort of a one-off thing and it's limited. You don't have a conversational style. Now, this is where I want to introduce you, if you're not familiar with it, with ChatGPT, because I really have grown to love ChatGPT just because of the conversational nature, the way it has a memory of your conversation, and you can just work more efficiently. So let's jump over the ChatGPT now, and I'm going to show you how you can use this tool in concert with Canva to really do some of this brainstorming and to save a lot of time. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to head over to chatgpt.com. And this is the tool we're really going to use to help us with our brainstorming and our writing and flushing out our ideas. Now, if you're here for the first time, you're going to need to click this login button, and then you can log in with your Google account or set up a new email password. Again, there is a free plan. So if you look under the free plan here, it says you can have assistance with writing, problem solving, and more. So that's going to be a big thing we want. We want assistance with writing. But then it also has limited access to things like image generation, which we'll talk about more. And then there is a pro plan also. So I actually have this pro plan, which is $20 a month, and I love it. You have to figure out whether it's right for you. But with this, you can get image generation, and I'm someone that does, programming as my day job, so I have it sometimes help me with coding and really just about anything. I mean, if I went through my history of ChatGPT conversations, I ask it about cooking, I ask it about problems I'm having with my car, household things. There's really just tons you can do with it. Basically, think of it as a search engine, except it's conversational in nature, so you can ask it questions, you can ask it follow-up questions. It'll remember your conversational thread, so you can refer back to things and type more efficiently rather than having to start a search from scratch every time. I just find it really useful. But we'll learn about it as we get into this a little bit, so you can start to see some of the power of using a tool like ChatGPT. So again, sign up for this free plan to start. That's fine. And if you ever find that you need the Pro plan, then $20 a month, you can upgrade to this Pro plan. Okay, so let's jump in and see how we're going to use ChatGPT to help us with this problem of brainstorming ideas and saving time. Okay, for anyone new to ChatGPT, let's just start with a very quick overview of how it works. So you're going to see a screen sort of like this where you can start a new conversation down here, and all your past conversations you're going to see over here in this left menu. Now this just gives you an idea of the sort of things you can do with it, or you can ask it, here's some of my old conversations. So author of A Man Called Otto, I forgot temporarily because my brain doesn't work. And of course, the book is The Man Called Ove, Frederick Bachman, incredible writer, highly recommend his books. And then of course, I'm asking it questions about different things I'm working on, different projects. Always use it when I'm preparing YouTube videos like this one. Here it is one day where I'm doing a programming question because I do programming. I'm asking about WNBA schedule down here. So all sorts of different things. You can really ask it just about anything. Again, it's like a search engine, but unlike a search engine, it remembers your current conversation so you can refer back to things. It becomes a much more efficient way to do searches. And then of course, it also can do tasks for you. It can do writing. And if you have the Pro version like this, it can create images. So let's just work through a very basic example here. So we're talking about this prompt, childless cat lady. So I could just say, describe a childless cat lady. And then it's going to give us something back. It may not be exactly what we're looking for, but that's okay because we can take what it gives us back and now we can give it more prompts and get it to refine what it's giving back. So we can start to affect the results, influence the results by having this conversation with ChatGPT. So we can see it ended this response with a question. It said, would you like to explore how this concept is perceived in modern culture, or are you looking for more specific examples? So sometimes it will give you questions back and try to steer the conversation or try to help you out, again, using that AI technology, but you can continue in any manner that you please. So I'm going to try something now like give me 5 different descriptions of cat ladies. For each, vary the characteristics of the woman and put each in an adventurous setting. So this is just an example of where you can start to give it bulk writing tasks and get it to do a lot of work for you in quick fashion. So I'll go ahead and hit enter there, and then we'll see what we get back. So now we can see here that it did give me 5 results. So it has the jungle explorer cat lady with a whole detailed description. Then it also has cyberpunk cat lady, pirate captain cat lady, post-apocalyptic wanderer cat lady, spacefarer cat lady. So this is a great tool for brainstorming and getting ideas. And now I can refer back to any of these. I can ask it to come up with alternate versions of one. I can ask it to expand on it. I can ask it to limit the text and make it more concise. So you really can start to have this conversation and guide it in any direction you want. And so, for example, you can also generate images when you have this Pro ChatGPT. So I could say something like generate an image for number 3. Now I've misspelled that here, but it's going to understand what I mean, and also number 3. And so just like this, you can go ahead and do this, and you can refer back to the conversation you've already started. I use number 3. It knows what number 3 is because it just gave me a numbered response. So very easily you can make these references and just save yourself a lot of time rather than typing out something from scratch. So it just becomes a more efficient workflow. So it's given me these results here, which I don't like very much. But again, I could steer this farther. I could ask it to redo it. I could say I want landscape format. I could give it a style. So you're starting to understand how potentially this is a very helpful tool. Okay, so that's just to introduce you to the basics. Now I'm going to walk you through a conversation using this childless cat lady idea and show you how I really get it to give me the sorts of variety and results I want. And I'm going to walk you through my whole workflow. I'm going to give you that secret trick. And again, I'm going to give you access to a way to get that secret weapon for yourself so you can start to save lots of time and really get varied results when you're creating AI images like this. And we'll look at how you can create them here in ChatGPT, but then also how you can take that and take it back to Canva as well style and generate images with Canva's AI generator. Okay, so let me walk you through a couple of ChatGPT conversations I had here to really go through this process. So for this first one here, I just gave it a very basic, photorealistic illustration of a childless cat lady. I'm not even really asking a question, but it's understanding what I want. So it gives me a description here, and then it generates an image for me. So now I have this image, I can click on it, and I can see that image. And if you're a Pro ChatGPT user, you can then refer back to this image. You can actually make edits in here where you draw over something and tell it to replace it. So it works a little bit like that a magic edit you have in Canva, where you can do those sorts of edits. It works a little bit better currently, I think, in ChatGPT than Canva, but both of these are progressing technologies that should just get better and better. So we'll close out of that. And so I have this sort of beginning description here. Now you can very easily take this description generated here in ChatGPT and you can paste it over into Canva's AI Image Generator. And so this is an example how you can get these two programs to work together. Now when I do this, I can see that this gets cut off because Canva will not accept this amount of characters, but this is again where we can leverage ChatGPT and we can ask it to rewrite things, and it's smart enough to understand our commands, and so we can leverage that to save some time. So it does the rewrite for me. It keeps it to under 265 characters. But then I give the conversation even more direction by providing it even more instructions. So I decided I wanted to use 260 characters or less, so I tell it that here. And I also tell it I'm going to give some more instructions. I ask if it understands. It says, got it, let me know when you're ready for the rewrites, and I'll start. So then what I do is I provide it with this list of style keywords. Now this is going to be your secret weapon, and I'm going to provide you with a PDF with over 100 of these different style keywords that you can use to generate these various style images, and I'm going to provide that to you for free at the end of this video. But what I do is I'm going to tell it that I want it to rewrite these descriptions. I want it to keep the same description, but instead of using this photorealistic keyword, I want it to randomly choose from this list of style keywords that I provide to it. Now this is an example of how you can provide information to ChatGPT and then ask it to do a bulk task and have it refer back to that information and make use of that information that you provide to it. And this is when it becomes a very powerful tool where you can start to bulk create things very quickly. So that's what I wanted to be able to do. I wanted to be able to start to generate results very quickly. So now I have it making use of these style keywords. I give it some more instructions here, just basically telling it to vary the ethnicity of the woman, vary the setting and tone of the scene, the descriptions of the cats. So I give it some different instructions here that it's also going to follow. And then I tell it to go ahead and give me the first 5 rewrites. So if I scroll down here, I can see that yes, it's given me the first 5 rewrites. It's pulling those styles from the style list above. So this is where you can have a conversation. You can give it information. It can make use of that information. So it's pulling that information. It's using that to influence the scene, influence the description. And then since I'm in ChatGPT and I have the Pro account, I can also ask it to generate the images as well. Now, if you're a free user and you cannot generate the images here, you can always copy and paste to a different setup, a different tool. And this is where if you're using Canva, you can paste back to Canva and make use of your Canva account. So you can take any of these and paste them back to Canva. We limited it to 260 characters because of this. Now you can very easily grab this and you can paste it back to Canva using that style keyword as well and get results in Canva. But since I have the Pro account here, I just went ahead and said, could you generate these images for me? And because we're using these different styles now, we can see that when we get these results back, suddenly we get very varied results. Before, when we weren't giving it a style keyword, we were just getting these very narrow, very limited results. Now, because we have all these style keywords, we can start to get these varied results. And the more you use these style keywords, the more you build upon your list of style keywords, you're going to start to figure out the sort of styles that you like that work for your types of projects. And then you're going to be able to a lot quicker get to the sort of results you want, the results that are going to work for the type of project you're working on. Now, of course, this is sort of the exploration phase where as long as you want, you can continue to go through and investigate these different styles. And because we're using this sort of bulk system where it's doing a lot of work quickly, we can very quickly go through these different styles. We can see here it makes a mistake. It uses a man instead of a woman. So you can go in here at any time. You can give it corrections, keep it on course, make adjustments. So this is all part of the process. But again, you can go through these styles very quickly and you can continue to explore as long as you want until you find, whatever style is what you're going to need for a given project. Now, at some point, then you're going to want to sort of start to hone in. And that's where you can come in here and you can give it additional instructions. You could change anything. I could take the cat and say, I want these to be dogs. You could change things completely. You could change the lighting. You could give it whatever descriptions and instructions to guide it in whatever direction you want. So here I gave it some additional instructions and I said I wanted to have a strong rebellious superhero vibe, and I said neo-noir for styles. So now we're back to narrowing in. Remember, we started wide because you wanted to brainstorm all these different styles, get a feel for the different styles, what might work for a particular project. But then once you start to hone in on that, you can start to really investigate particular styles, see what you like, come up with some images all within a particular style. And remember, you can always vary any keywords within your description that you want to, so you can continue to make updates to your description as much as you want, but you can start to really hone in and find out what's going to work for a particular project. Now, the image you see behind me on my screen now was generated here in ChatGPT, but if I take the prompt, that's associated with this and then I paste it over into Canva, now suddenly behind me on the screen, you can see how you get much different results. So sometimes just taking that prompt from one platform and trying it on another platform can give you varied results. And so it's fun to try that, see what you like, see what's to your taste, and then you can start to figure out what platforms, what workflow works for you. I obviously love how you can bulk do tasks and have conversations like we've had here in ChatGPT, but then other platforms can still give great results. So just make sure you try out some different tools, different platforms, see what works best for you. So thanks for watching. I hope you found something in this video useful. If you did, you can give this video a like. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and you can hit the bell notification below to get notified when I have future videos. And as mentioned before, I am giving away that free visual style guide. I'm going to give it away to anybody who subscribes to my email newsletter. So all you have to do is in the first pinned comment below this video, you just have to fill out that form to sign up for my email newsletter, and you're going to get sent to a page directly where you can get this free visual style guide. Now, it contains over 100 visual styles with descriptions of each style, and then also an image to go along with each style to give you an idea of what that style is. And again, I think this is going to be very helpful when you do your AI image generation, so make sure you sign up and grab that free visual style guide. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you soon.